All right, welcome folks. Today we're going to talk about two ZSA keyboards. So I've been a longtime user of the Moonlander for about 2 years now, and I just got the Voyager in. So I'm going to just kind of walk through them and see if I can talk through the differences so far. So first of all, in terms of sheer size, you have, let me grab one side of the Moonlander here. This is the Moonlander. So it's, about the size of my hands. It's pretty big. And you can kind of bend it so that, as you can see, this is kind of bent in. So it's a little bit easier for big hands, which I appreciate. And then kind of in comparison is the Voyager, which is much smaller. As you can see, my whole hand kind of covers it. And it's a very different feel. When you're typing, basically everything is right here. And it almost sometimes feels like you're jumping around. Whereas for this one, it feels much more like a stretch, like you're trying to reach to things. Let's see what else. So one of the key things that I think about when I'm comparing these two is durability. So I really love the Moonlander, but it's really easy to break parts of it. There's a lot of moving parts. If you look at it, you've got, this thumb pad, you've got this kind of lift, you've got this guy. And then you of course have, all the keys and the like. So there's just a lot of moving parts for a keyboard. And while it's really great because you can set it up just the way you want it, some of those parts break. And so I actually had the left thumb pad break and I was just out of the 2-year warranty. So I looked into replacing this thumb pad here. So it got stripped, basically the screw got stripped. And so it doesn't sit flush like it used to. It's not stable. And it was 120 bucks to repair it, which is fair. And it's fun that you can repair it. But when a new one is, in range of that, the new one is 350, which is not nothing. But when a repair part is about a third the cost of just getting the new thing, sometimes it makes sense to get the new thing. And this one is a lot simpler. So as you can see, it is tented in that it's going to sit a little bit high off the ground here. But they're just little magnets, and I am much more confident that they won't break. There's really no moving parts at all. There's no screws. It's a lot easier to fix and a lot easier not to break, really. That's the key thing. So the next thing I want to talk about, though, is one of the other big differences, which is just the sheer number of keys on the Moonlander. And I actually find it really nice. There's a lot you can do customizing the Moonlander. So, even just down to on each side with each thumb, you've got 3 keys, which makes it really nice. I actually probably didn't fully use these. So I was able to get a really nice flow going with these where I could have, one of my friends set it up so you could have a space bar and a backspace. So it was really fast to type, you had space and backspace, and those were really, really quick. So it was a really wonderful setup, and you had a lot of flexibility because you could remap those keys. You could make them a hold different than a tap. So, if you tap one of the keys, it'll do something different than a hold. And you had basically everything you needed. You had your arrow keys, which you can see kind of here at the bottom. And then you had a bunch of keys that you could make whatever you want. So there's lots of these kind of blank keys here along the sides and along the inside as well. And so I ended up using those to really set up interesting, probably we might call them macros. So one of them was like creating a reminder and reminders. I could do that with a single, click, right? So it was a lot easier to do that. There's a lot of flexibility. And that is the beauty of the Moonlander, but it's also much larger and harder to travel with. And so this does not have the same number of keys, though you can remap them just like this one. You can make them correspond to whatever you want, but there's just a lot less keys. You can see there are no arrow keys. There's actually no brackets on here, which I'm finding difficult. There's just a lot missing. And instead of 3 thumb keys, you get 2. And that doesn't sound like a lot. I guess there's actually 4 on there. That doesn't sound like a lot less, but I'm finding it difficult. So there's been a lot of adjustment in terms of just the sheer number of keys that you lose going to the Voyager, which is part of the advantage, the size. So what you're really going to have to do with the Voyager is get into layers, right? So it's really cool. If you hold certain keys or you change kind of modes, you can have totally different things going on with the keyboard. So for me, if I hold this key right here, it will change all this into, you know, music controls. So I can turn my volume up and down here. You know, G and B become volume controls rather than G and B. So that's what you really have to lean into is layers. And I would love to do more of an in-depth demo here, but I just wanted to do this for posterity so that I kind of remember my first impressions. But at some point I would love to do a demo of my Voyager key setup once I have it better down, because it's not good yet. I don't fully like how I have it set up, but so far I'm actually impressed. I have brown keys for each of these, so they're, I don't know, you can hear them. They sound kind of keyboardy. And then I just have normal keycaps. So there's lots of things to change. There's lots of things to adjust, but basically I am doing this because I'm going to be on the road a lot, and these are going to be a lot easier to travel with than the Moonlander, and it'll be easier to, you know, work at a coffee shop with the Voyager. So we'll see how it goes. I'll do an update once I have my kind of key set figured out. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching, and let me know if you do want to see the final kind of setup.